Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor as due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Rubel. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in this gospel bride lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is a video I came across. It goes into note, thousands of nurses are being fired right now. People are feeling the squeeze, man. And one thing I do want to say about you women out there, and it's, hold on, Slocky. Fucking bugs, man. Slocky, man. Damn flies in here. But anyway, one thing I did want to say about you women out there, and not only you, just in general, as a collective, people getting ready to start feel the burn. All right, because we understand that according to the scriptures, America has a short time left, and with them putting more money into this AI infrastructure, you got the likings of Palantir and these different corporations that's building these data centers around the world. They're not going to really have an affinity for human workers in a little bit, because I saw a statistic. Now, I don't know how accurate it is, because sometimes things are thrown out there loosely, but I saw a statistic and it stated that by 2027, 80% of the corporate force can totally be without work, because they want to replace people with autonomous robots. Because honestly speaking, you don't have to pay an algorithm a salary. Okay, you put enough money into this infrastructure, and you build it up, then it is self-sustained itself, but to the likings of the actual people, grocery store tellers, clerks, restaurant workers, fast food workers, hell, nurses, they'll land you off in record numbers. And one thing about you nurses are serial adulterers. Okay, if you work in a hospital field or the medical field, anybody would tell you that them nurses be getting down with them doctors, man. And that's why they're required to hire a certain caliber of female to work in these particular hospitals and these clinics, man, because, they're the face, they're the customer service, But a lot of you nurses, you're proud as all hell. You just have this spirit of you've made it. Especially Keisha, she thrives herself in her career. Well, I'm a traveling nurse, and I became a traveling nurse because I make $87,000 a year. But it's burnt out, man. You burn it out. You still don't have enough to make ends meet. You don't have no husbands, and if you do have husbands, you completely commit adultery on them, and the list goes on. So you people are getting ready to feel a squeeze. All right, the Heavenly Father and Son, He's had enough of you niggas. You know what I'm saying? And He's had enough of you Jakes, and He's had enough of you damn women. And He's had enough of Babylon completely. So anyway, this is a video. I got a couple of precepts lined up. Nothing too deep, but hey, people are getting ready to feel it. So scriptures say, now it's high time to wake up out of sleep, because our salvation is nearer than what we believe. And these people, they don't know what the hell is going on. They just think that they're hitting a hardship, but no, man, things are getting ready to make a turn for the worse. Okay, the price of boxes getting ready to plummet, and you women, you literally finna be giving yourselves up for a submarine sound, for a fucking baloney sound. You're getting ready to sell your body for that. All right, so hey, you brothers out there, hey, just stay on point, remain patient, and watch this thing flip itself on its head. So here we go.
2% of its workforce, which equates to about 1,000 employees.
I hate being a nurse, and that might be a strong statement, and I literally feel like I'm going to get upset.
We're going to talk about this whole entire healthcare layoff, because I know a lot of people who are doing rotations at hospitals, right? I know a lot of people who just recently graduated from pharmacy school or PA school, and you're working at hospitals. A lot of them are saying that hours are being cut as we're seeing less government funding. There's the whole Medicaid, Medicare issue going on. It is a complex web of stuff, and this is also one of the reasons why so many healthcare insurance companies, whatever it is, are just going down. So right now, Minnesota, recently, we saw nurses among over 500 people being laid off in Central Care. This is one of the most shocking layoffs out there, as many people weren't expecting nearly 5% of healthcare workers from this company to be laid off. And this is one of the craziest things happening right now. Many nurses are losing their jobs. There's also a lot of nurses being burnt out. So nursing right now, not only is it very expensive, you don't go to community college because, by the way, community college, there's like a massive line. You gotta wait years for it in some areas. So many people are saying that nursing schools are all very expensive, especially go to one of the private schools. And not only that, after you graduate, nurses are on the front lines. And many nurses feel extremely burnt out. And right now, more and more nurses just feel like the job, the pay isn't really that great, especially.
Right, because, like I said, a lot of times they thrive themselves, like being a nurse was like the creme de la creme. Oh, I'm a nurse, 4 or 5 years of college, and get your CNA license or whatever you want to call it, or you're getting your, you get your nurse's license, and you can't tell you people a damn thing. You can't tell you people shit because in your mindset, you better than everybody else. But right now, you're seeing the role reversal. Okay, you women, you're getting ready to feel the burn, and you feeling it already. I mean, shit, when we go out in public, you can just see the struggle of everybody's faces because they don't know how they're gonna make it. Like, I was talking to some people yesterday, and people they're living. I was talking to a couple of neighbors. Because I was down at the pool just kind of kicking it, and I was talking to a couple of neighbors, man, and they're hurt. Like this one stud chick, and you could tell she wants a man because when they're around men, they try to size men up, but this chick, I don't know, she must have been Northern Kingdom, but clearly she was like, well, she's afraid of this economy because she don't know what's going on. She's afraid, and I'm just like X, Y, and Z. And then I had another neighbor that was talking to me, and they was basically saying like, look, white man fucked up everything, and this chick, she was like, I hope I'm Native American, I wish I was an Indian, man, because she said Esau done fucked everything up. In back of my mind, I'm like, wow, that's crazy, because the scriptures go that they should complain of an ungodly father. So yeah, man, people are feeling the burn. Okay, so let me pull this precept real quick. It's the book of Ecclesiastes 12, and I'm going to start at 1. It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So we're supposed to seek the Heavenly Father and his Son early on. Okay, because see, the Lord, he desires you in the peak of your strength, because it takes strength, mental fortitude, takes patience, to be temperamental, to in a good way, to do this work. You see, so the Most High don't want you when you all burnt out, you have nothing else to give. Like they teach in the Christian church. Miss Maybelline, she's been a demon her whole life. All of a sudden, she's 65, full of cancer and diabetes now. She's found the Lord. You see? Just a bunch of hypocrisy. But it says, while the sun or light on the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in a day when the keepers of the house should tremble, and the strong men should bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And that goes into people's perception and optimism. Okay, people are not optimistic about the future of Babylon anymore because, it's not the glory days of America. Okay, the American dream is nothing more but a dream. Like we've been telling you, things are going to start collapsing. What we're witnessing is a collapse. Okay, a systematic collapse. But it's going to come a time that things are just going to spiral out of control, and they're not going to be able to control it any much more. And therefore chaos, looting, riots, all these things would be this would be just a typical day here in Babylon. You waking up in the morning to gunshots and loud noises and screams. It's going to be a typical day here shortly. And it says, and the door should be shut in the streets, and when the sound of the grinding is low, and he should rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music should be brought low. Okay, so yeah, people are getting ready to feel it. They already feeling it, but they ain't seen nothing yet. All right.
Some of the top hospitals aren't exactly hiring anymore. Many nurses are just feeling the pressure. Not only is the financial pressure pretty high in hospitals, but it's pretty high for nurses themselves too. And increased workload for the remaining staff. If you don't like their new job, well, it's going to be harder to find a new job, and it's very, very hard to find a job at a better hospital. And so many of these hospitals are firing nurses, right? You got, UC San Diego. You got the UC San Francisco doing the same thing. Kaiser, Mayo Clinic in Austin. We are going to be seeing a lot of nurses and other healthcare employees being fired in the next few years, and it is not a fun time at all. Check out some of these videos.
I'm a six-figure funded trader, and I've passed plenty of challenges just like this one, using just one tool.
Why doesn't anybody talk about how hard it is to show up to work after they announce that they're doing layoffs? Like, you expect me to show up and want to work every day at my hardest, even though you may turn around and just say, poof, your job's gone tomorrow? I don't know about y'all, but I have zero, probably negative motivation to show up for this company who every 6 to 12 months threatens layoffs. I'm fortunate that I haven't been laid off at this point, but it's really frustrating when your director's response is, well, you're a nurse. It's fine if you get laid off because you have so much opportunity. Hey there, Joe. No, I don't, because I would rather go stick my feet in a pool of alligators than go back to the bedside as a nurse. I don't know about any other nurses, but I feel like if you've been in it, you know what I mean. And once you've been out of it, you're not going back. So while, yes, I have a nursing degree, if you've been ever a bedside nurse in the last 10 years, you know there's no way I'm going back. So anywho, I don't know. I'm just feeling frustrated today and very unmotivated to work. And I just don't know if anybody else who gets threatened layoffs feels the same way. So if you've ever been threatened to be laid off, like, did you still show up 100% to work? Because it's not like it matters, right? Anyway, happy Wednesday.
This is nursing. This is giving everything that you have.
You know, another thing too, I don't understand how people can come to social media and just cry and vent out all their feelings. That's why I said this is the worst generation, because I mean, people don't have any pride or dignity, which I'm not saying be prideful, but people, it's like everybody's looking for some type of Trump sympathy card. I'm just going through this and that. I just need to be consoled. And people do this shit for attention too,
12 hours being berated. This is nursing in 2022. This is being called incompetent. This is being destroyed and to have to continue going back in for 12 hours. Even though they just treat you like you're trash. Like, I'm not somebody who doesn't care. I'm somebody who leaves my family to take care of yours. And treat them like they're my family. I would do everything I could for these people that are mine. And then just to be... to be treated so horribly by family members, and then for you to have no backing. You have no support. And you sit here in your car after work and you're like, why do I do this? I don't want to leave my kids to go work and take care of your family anymore. And I'm a damn good nurse. You would want me as your family's nurse. If something really bad were to happen, you would want me. And I'm not a conceited person, but you would. I would save their life, and I would do everything I could to advocate for them. I never cried like this when I worked at the daycare. I loved my job. It just didn't pay enough to sustain a family, and I always wanted to be a nurse, so I did it. And now I sit here 6 years into it, and I have no idea why. I have no idea why. Be nice to your nurses. They're doing everything they can. They literally are laying their heart out every 12 hours.
And it ain't just these nurses. I mean, the tech sector is laying off as well, all right? So you people, you're feeling it. Zephaniah 1:10, and it says, and it shall come to pass in that day, says Yahweh, that there should be a noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills, all right? This is going into an economic collapse, all right? Because they're, like I said, they're laying off across the board. Hell, even in my job, they are cutting out certain, I won't say departments, but a lot of these departments are losing funding. So a lot of them have to merge, and a lot of people are coming over and switching to different departments because of the funding, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a matter of time, all right, before this shit hits us all, all right? Because see, what happens is things are gonna get so dire to the point when the chip comes, they're gonna be chipping people in classes. So if you wanna get your employment or you want your job opportunity back, they're gonna say, well, look, take the RFID chip, because it's not the fact that they have to lay off. They're doing it because they're putting a squeeze on people. So when the RFID chip comes, then they can bribe people into taking a chip because they know how weak the American people are. Okay, if you put food, bread, and circus and some sort of a living in front of them, they're going to take the chip. I mean, without question, they're not even going to put up a fight. I mean, at least the ones that's into know, they're going to be reluctant to take it. But people like her, she's going to run down to the state, wherever they're going to, she's going to run and get 2 chips, because like I said, these people, they have no hope. All right. But it says, how ye inhabitants of Mektesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, and all that bear silver are cut off. Okay. So all you people that like stay in the stock market and, you investors and so forth, everybody's getting ready to feel it, okay? Because credit card debt, people are living off credit card debt. Like at the camp this week, this past Saturday, the brothers and myself, we was talking about credit cards and how basically they want you to be in debt, how they raise your credit score based on the debt you have. Like I checked my credit score has been the same for the last 2 months. Okay, I pay everything on time, everything comes out on time, and it haven't risen. But the minute I'm late on one bill that's connected to this credit account, I guarantee you my shit gonna plummet like 50 points of one delinquent payment. But the minute I pay it off and get it back up, I mean, I've seen my credit score drop 30 points and only raise 2. Go up 2 points, drop 40 points. It may rise 7, 8 points, but it'll drop 20 points. So it's a fucking joke, man, at the end of the day. This is why you can't take this shit too serious. You can't put your dealings all into Babylon. You just can't, man, because if you do, you fucked if you do, you fucked if you don't. Okay, look at these people, for example, they're through. All right, matter of fact, let's go here. Isaiah 24. And I'm going to start at verses 4. It says, the earth mourned and faded away, and the world language and faded away, and the haughty people of the earth do language. Yeah, these people are extremely haughty, man. Okay, you go into haughty. Matter of fact, it goes into extremely arrogant or proud. All right. Goes into maram, which means a height, elevation, proudly. Okay, a high place, proudly, arrogant. Okay, conceited. These people quick. Oh, I make this much money. I make that much money. Nobody cares how much money you make, man. Because ultimately, it's not about that. You see? And it says here, the earth is also defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate, and therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burnt, and few men left. Okay? I'll play a little bit more in this, and I get one more precept when it ended. Point is being made.
Just be nice. Just be kind. I know that you don't like seeing your family sick, but they don't either, and they're trying. They're trying so hard, but we're overworked and we're short-staffed. Just be kind. There's no reason to be so degrading to people. Just be kind.
I hate being a nurse. And that might be a strong statement. And I literally feel like I'm going to get upset, but I have been a registered nurse for 10 years. I have changed jobs several times because everybody's like, the great thing about being a nurse is if you don't like one area, you can go to another. And I've done ER, I've done NICU, I've done private duty, I've done IV hydration. I've tried all these different things, and I hate it. I hate being a nurse. There are so many nurse content creators on here that love it, and like I'm so happy that they have found a career that they have loved. But after a decade of being a nurse, I hate it, and I want a new career. So if you love your job and you make a good living, please comment what you do for a living, because I can't be a nurse anymore.
And I'm telling you, brothers, man, these women, they finna start beating down your doors. And the sex market is getting ready to start booming. I mean, like it's not already, but these women, they don't have no skill. They have no skill. They can't cook. They can't be women. I mean, like I was just out this weekend and I was just observing, and I'm like, these women are cake, they're through. They don't have the skills. Like, I mean, they have, you know, they understand as far as like living in America, but they don't have skills. They don't have proper etiquette. The hygiene is all fucked up. They're only takers. They don't reciprocate. They don't have it, man. Okay, the mental is not right. Okay, they don't know what it means to serve. They don't know what it means to be courteous. They're just through, man. You see what I'm saying? And they have no skills. They don't know how to be parents. They don't know how to be wives. You know, the men don't know how to be men. It's just like a shit show, man. And the Lord is clearly making the distinction between us and them. I mean, it shows like I said, this weekend, I just went out by myself and I kicked it, you know what I'm saying? Just alone, because sometimes it's just better to do that. So I'll just go out and I'm chilling, and you can just see the spirits, the different spirits, man, and everybody just like, they just lost, man. But, you know, you have us on the other hand, we just chilling. We just in the midst of everything, and people are figuring out like, wait a minute, something's different about these dudes, man. And these women, they can feel it. They can smell it on you. All right, they know. All right.
I hate it. I am so upset. I hate
those eyes.
Well, I'm not playing no more of that video. Let's get the last precepts and we'll end it. 2nd Ezra 16. And I'm going to start at verses 40. It says, O my people, hear my word and make you ready to thy battle. It says, and those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. So we're going to have to move around because things are going to be chaotic on all sides. You know, and it reads here, and it says, he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. Okay, it says he that buyeth as one that will lose. So, you know, you got guys out here that invest, and Jake talking about, well, we got generational wealth. Because right now, I mean, Jake is getting the bag, man. I mean, Jake is making more money than they've ever made, but it's not even enough. And when I say Jake, I'm talking about as a collective. You got men out here, they're podcasters, you know, they're businesses, they doing this, they have lawn care services. I mean, Jake out here, they're making moves, and then you got a bunch of scammers too. Okay, which you got a lot of Jakes that's scamming. But it says he that selleth is him that will fleeth away, and he that buyeth is one that will lose. So at the end of the day, it's all vanity. Okay, the money we put in these businesses and the money we're taking home from our jobs, at the end of the day, it's all vanity. It don't really amount to anything because it's not going to be able to sustain you when all hell break loose. Okay, they said the average American, 60% of Americans barely have $100 in a bank account saved up. Okay, living paycheck to paycheck when a handful of groceries run you about $300. All right. And that only give you barely a week's supply of food. So people are depleting their what they call their disposable income. People are depleting their resources daily. You know. And it says here, and he that occupied merchandise is he that have no profit by it. He that buildeth as he that should not dwell therein. And he that soweth as he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that should not gather the grapes. And they that marry as they that should get no children. And they that marry not as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain. So it's all vain at the end of the day. It really won't amount to anything. Okay, America is just like a stop in the road. Or it's kind of like a pit stop. You know, you got what you got for the time being until it's over with. Because eventually, like I mentioned, we all gonna have to walk away from these ordeals. We're gonna have to all walk away from our homes, eventually our jobs, whatever it may be. You know, so yeah, brothers, just prepare your mind keep your Bashim Hawashai at the forefront, you know, and continue to pray, fast, whatever you got to do, and watch this bitch fall. But with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Hawashai. Lord, will you edify to the next lesson. Shalom.